Happy New Year. I hope this video finds you doing well. It may have been a great year this past year, or this past year may have been very tough. The reality is that we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know the future, but what we need to know is who holds it. I want to share with you from Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1 to 8. It says, "For everything there is a season, a time for every matter under heaven, a time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to pluck up what is planted, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to break down, and a time to build up, a time to weep, a time to laugh, a time to mourn, a time to dance, a time to cast away stones, a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace, and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to seek, a time to lose, a time to keep, a time to cast away, a time to tear, a time to sow, a time to keep silence, a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace. Therefore we must number our days, as Psalms 90 verse 12 puts it. So teach us to number our days, that we may get a heart of wisdom. We must know our place compared to God's place. That we are creation, He is creator. That He is all powerful, we are not. He is all knowing, we are not. That He is immortal, and we are mortal. So in a new year, who will you turn to if things take a turn for the worse? When you get a phone call that your loved one has been in a wreck, or someone you love, or you yourself are diagnosed with cancer. When you get a call to the office saying that your job, your position is no longer needed and you can't make ends meet. So who will you turn to? Who will be your help in this new year? The good news is that God is our help. When we can't control the outcome, when we can't know the results of what's to come, when we can't predict life. In Psalms 46 verses 1 to 3, it says, "God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear, though the earth give way, though the mountains be moved into the heart of the sea, though its waters roar and foam, though the mountain tremble at its swelling." See, the God we serve and love is not a God who is far or distant from us, but it is a God whose help is very present. A God who is in the trenches with you in life, who is with you in the hospital waiting, who is with you at home when the tears can't stop falling. A God who's able to sympathize, a God who's come down, who was born and lived on earth and died to save sinners like all of us. A help that is present and near to us. A God who not only mediates, but a God who sympathizes with His people. In Philippians chapter 4, verse 11 to 13, he says, "Not that I am speaking of being in need, for I have learned in whatever situation to be content. I know how to be brought low, and I know how to abound. In any and every circumstance, I have learned the secret of facing plenty and hunger, abundance and need. I can do all things through Him who strengthens me." The secret to Paul's contentment in whatever situation he finds himself is that God Himself is enough for Paul. In 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 9, God says to Paul, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." Then Paul says, "Therefore, I will boast all the more gladly of my weakness, so that the power of Christ may rest upon me." Friends, may the grace of God be your very present help, your joy. May the grace of God be sufficient for you in this new year, 2020. May the grace of God lift you, comfort you, be your peace, a peace that surpasses all understanding. God's grace is better than anything in this world because God offers Himself for His glory. Amen.